Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Eki. Conversations with Eki is a talk show that I host here on my YouTube channel where I have conversations with individuals that are striving in their careers and in their businesses. So guys, today I have a very special guest, like you can see. Dayo is here with us today again, You're here again. So guys, today we're going to be talking with Dayo and we're going to be having conversations around tech, around data. Dayo is a data engineer and he has been in the tech world for over 10 years now. So I believe that he's the right person to have these conversations with. So today we're going to be exploring or we're talking about his journey so far, how he landed in the tech world, advice for people who are looking to go into tech and then much more. So if this is something that you're interested in, make sure to keep watching this video. Looking on my phone because I always have my questions on my phone. So Daya, thank you for being here again. Thanks for sitting on my couch and being a guest in Conversation with Eke. So how are you today?
Doing great. I'm well.
Okay.
Yeah, weather is cold, you can see.
Yes it is. Daya, please can we meet you? Can you introduce yourself? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Dayo and my background is, so these days I just call myself an engineer, but I've spent most part of my last 10 years plus was in the data science and data engineering world. But these days I do so many things. My current role is a senior software engineer where I get to solve so many engineering problems, from DevOps to database optimization to data engineering to machine learning engineering and stuff like that. So that's why these days I like to call myself an engineer, even though most part of my background was in data engineering and data science.
Okay, interesting. Okay. So tell us about yourself, where did you grow up, your childhood? You can share with us your fondest childhood memory, so just little information about, we want to just know you better. The people that are watching this video that don't know you, of course, so just share some sweet information with us.
I don't know, but yeah, my name is Dayo, or as you guys know, I had a normal upbringing. I grew up in somewhere called Songwater in Ogun State. That's where I spent most part of the beginning side of my life. I think up to over 20 years of the beginning part of my life was spent in Songwater, and went to normal primary school there in Songo. My primary school was in Songo. My secondary school, then I went to Federal Odobolu.
Federal Government College.
Okay. For my secondary school, high school, or as you would call it. And then Covenant University for my bachelor's.
What did you study?
Computer engineering, and my upbringing was normal. I would say average family. We're not stinkingly rich, and we're definitely not poor, but just average. And my main memory is just spending time with the family, my brothers. That's it. My background was a bit normal like everyone else. My upbringing was a bit normal.
Is there anything that happened in your childhood that you would say influenced your decision to go into tech? You mentioned that you studied computer engineering. So is there anything or any particular experience from your childhood that you say influenced your decision to study computer engineering?
Yeah, that's a good one. And yes, definitely there was a reason why I chose computer engineering. I've grown up as a child because computers were not really a thing when we were growing up. So computer was just this mystery. For me, I don't think I had access to my first computer till university. Maybe when you go to cafe, browsing cafe and stuff like that. But owning your own computer, I don't think I had one until like I got to the university.
Yeah.
So computers were just this fancy thing that I've always like just admired. Like how can this thing just do all these things? And even though I didn't really know much about what it could do, but just little exposure to it, and it's just doing so many fascinating things. So I've just always had that interest. And then I know that I wanted to study something computer, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what computer I want to study. So I remember I was in a conversation somewhere, and they asked somebody, what are you studying? So the person was already in university, so they just got into university, and they asked him what he was studying or something, and he said computer engineering. So just randomly like that.
Yeah, you just picked it up.
That's how I just picked it up. I was just somewhere hanging around that conversation, and I just picked it up. That he has computer. I've always wanted computer.
Yeah.
I should carry computer engineering in my head, and I just continue carrying it on my head like that until I got admission.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there like any particular subject in secondary school or primary school that you love that helped you like when you got into the university studying computer engineering? So like for people that are watching this video that are in secondary school, is there any particular subject that you were good at or that you focused on that really helped you like in the university?
Yes, definitely. I've always been very good with mathematics. Growing up, I won mathematics competitions. I've always loved math, that problem solving skill. You give me something, divide dx, find the cosine, and I will sit down and break it down. In fact, it's so bad that I remember there are times growing up as a child, if you give me a mathematical problem and I'm not able to solve it, there's a situation where I tear my book I've always been obsessed with like mathematics, and I don't like failing mathematics, not being able to solve mathematics problems. So I would say it played a part in like my interest in engineering. Maybe then I didn't know that that's what it was going to do for me, but I feel like it's one of the reasons why like a lot of like engineering programming comes a bit easier to me, because I've always been used to that problem solving from my mathematics thing.
Yeah, so like it's going to be part of you. Like is it a skill? Is it a habit? Or
it became a habit.
It's a mindset. It's something that you have to So I'm asking this question because like people that are in secondary school, they want to do things like this. Like there's some courses or some subject that you need to focus on. You need to start learning. If you say you want to be a programmer, you want to be a programmer, you want to start coding, and you don't like to solve problems. Like you need to work on that part of yourself, and that's really the reason why I asked that question.
Yeah, and not to say if you are not good with mathematics, you can never be a programmer. That's not true. You can do anything you want, but I feel like if you develop that problem solving habit early enough, programming is basically problem solving. That's just the point we're trying to make. Just like mathematics is like problem solving, and programming is basically problem solving as well.
Okay. All right. Interesting. How did you get into tech? Was it was it straight out of school, or like you had to like do a boot camp? Like just run us through your journey.
Okay, so I studied computer engineering. So all through my uni days, I never heard anything about like data science, data engineering, data whatever. I didn't even know what that was. Or throughout my 5 years in the university. So when I go out of uni, you know the way in uni sometimes we just want to get those grades. Like we don't really care whether we know what we're doing or not. We just want to read and pass. So I was one of those kids. We did have a few people in my class that were really keen on like knowing the work, learning the programming and stuff like that. But me, unfortunately, I was one of those kids that just wanted to read and pass and finish with good grade. And I didn't really care whether I understood the programming or not. So then that became a problem for me after I graduated, because now I've finished with a good grade, and technically I don't really know anything, if I'm just being honest with you. So I think I was having a conversation with my dad. My dad was like, what do I want to do and stuff like that. So he said he just decided that he was going to, because I was young from school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know what I liked. So my initial vision was hi, I want to start building computers.
You own shop, computer village.
Yeah, so maybe a bit of computer village. So opening computers, repairing it, changing the RAM. I did do my IT. There's this IT we used to do in founder level. Or in Omatech computer. So they used to like build computers. So that's the initial. That was the initial vision. I wanted to build computer. I wanted to have my own computer brand and like Omatech and stuff like that. So, but when I finished in uni, I wasn't really sure again whether that's
what you want to
where
do.
would I even start from? Shall I now first go and start working in computer village or something? But I just needed guidance basically. So my dad then decided that because my dad had this friend in the US that is really big in tech, this whole big data world. Now he's probably been doing it like over 30 years. In the whole tech world is over 30 years now. So my dad did introduce me into him to say, my son, you just finished the computer engineering, I would like you to just guide him. What are some of the technology of the future that he can try to get into? So my dad just introduced him to be my mentor and just guide me, even though he's like my father. So that's when he started to tell me about this whole fancy data science. I remember the word he used was data science, data analytics is the future of the tech world. Or if you can key into it early enough, you will just be good. You'll basically be set.
This is like 2013.
So this was like 2011.
2011. Okay.
So I had this conversation with him because I finished uni in 2011, and then I had this conversation with him just almost immediately after my bachelor's degree. Bachelor's.
Okay. Yeah.
In bachelor's. So after we had that conversation, honestly, most part of the beginning part of those conversations, I really didn't understand what he was talking about. Which one is data warehousing? Which one is data engineering? Which one is data science? I don't know what this man is talking about. So he started to send me all these PDF files,
materials.
I was trying to sit down and be reading it, even though probably like 3/4 of it is not entering my head. But I was just holding on to it. Like, if you key into it early, you'll be set for life.
Yeah.
It is the future. So I just had that at the back of my mind. So I was struggling every day, even if I have to come back and read it again to try to figure out what this man is talking about, what all these things mean. So I just struggled like that for a bit. We kept on having those conversations for a year plus. He would just be sending me materials and stuff like that. And then on the side, I was doing like some small like I was working with the government in Lagos there, just doing small work. Little change, not so serious. It had like IT, some form of IT in it as well. So like IT supporting with printers and stuff like that. So that's what I initially just started with, is on the side, making computers. That was the vision. Yeah. So eventually, I kept on still applying for jobs and stuff like that. So eventually, and luckily for me, I got a job with Guarantee Trust Bank in Lagos. So when I went through the whole bank, so the way banking is in Nigeria, you go through the whole banking school for 5 months or so. So after that, they deploy you to different units within the bank. So luckily for me, they deployed me to the technology division of Guarantee Trust Bank. So I remember the first day that I was supposed to resume at technology. So they sat me down and did an interview, like a mini interview for me to see. Because tech, as you can imagine, tech is really wide. We had application development, we had people that were doing IT business analysis, this and blah blah blah. So many things were happening with technology. So they asked me like, what am I good at? Like, what do I have interest in, so that they can like deploy me to the right unit within technology and stuff like that. That's when that data engineering, data science, all those jargons that my mentor had been sending to me that time. Like, even though I didn't understand more than 3/4 of what he was sending to me, I just say, this is an opportunity. I just told them that I've been doing a lot of reading. So it was a case of like what they call that provide. Opportunity makes the prepared.
Opportunity makes the prepared.
Yeah. So at that point, I just made that decision that, man, remember that if you key in early,
it's the future.
it is the future, or you'll be set for life.
Yeah.
So I just said, this is my opportunity. They've given me a blank slate. So I just responded that I've really had interest in data science, data analytics. I've been doing a lot of like research around like, even though I'm not like really strong with it, I'm really willing to learn and go, put in the work. If you have a unit that is in charge of something like that, I really love to work there. So I remember they were all surprised that how did you hear about this? So they just say, in fact, they just dragged me like this, and then they took me to my boss then and say, now you use the hand ask for him or take or I was scared that this one that I said that I use the hand ask for him. So my manager sat me down that day, was like, that you asked for data analytics, that how did I hear about it? So I told him everything, that I have this mentor in the USO, he has been telling me about this thing. I don't know much about it though, but I promise I'm willing to put in the work day and night to make it work and stuff like that. And it was really like, it's going to really coach me, it's really going to help me. I can see that I have that enthusiasm, and that man is still my mentor till today. He basically taught me a lot of the things that I know on today.
Interesting.
From that.
Okay, all right. How has the journey been for you so far? Like, what kind of roles have you taken? What industries have you worked? Yeah, so.
Yeah, the truth is, it's not been an easy journey, because the tech world changes so fast, and honestly, you just have to keep. It's like software that you just have to keep updating. You have to keep reading. So it's quite challenging. My GT bank code that I just explained to you guys, I started there, even though it's called an executive training. If you have worked in the banking sector in Nigeria, we don't really have job title per se. We have like grade levels. So, but what I was doing was more of data engineering kind of stuff. So that's banking. Started in the banking sector, and then I went for my master's degree in London, in big data and business intelligence. So I got a master's degree in big data and business intelligence. The program too was very tough. Let's not go into that. So immediately after my master's, I joined e-commerce, a big e-commerce company in Africa. Then after e-commerce, as a BI analyst. So the e-commerce, I was a business intelligence analyst. After e-commerce, I joined one of the biggest FMCG company in the world, or as a senior business analyst. So this was when things got interesting, because now, remember, I started sort of like in data engineering, and now I've gone to business intelligence analyst. Now I've gone to senior business analyst. Now at that point, I wanted to go back to data engineering, and this was years apart. Now the data engineering world had changed completely from when I left it several years ago. So I basically had to go back to crazy amount of reading, crazy amount of updating my skills and stuff like that. And eventually I landed in next data. I landed back in data engineering like I wanted, and in fintech, so cryptocurrency exchange company. And after that, I worked a bit in hospitality, a big hospitality company in San Francisco, or as a senior BI engineer, And then currently I work in the ad tech space, as a senior software engineer as I mentioned earlier. So now I'm more, because I've acquired so many like experiences, skills, exposure over the years. Now I'm more like an engineer basically for the company. Do a bit of data DevOps, a bit of like software architecture, database performance optimization, heavily on data engineering as well, and a bit of machine learning engineering.
Interesting. The way you're just saying this, your career, it just looks so sweet, but the work that's gone into it, I know firsthand because it's my husband.
So it's a really challenging world. Sometimes it's like you need to be buying fuel and just be adding to yourself because
you have to keep
it can be
reading.
draining.
You have to keep improving yourself.
You have to. Sometimes if I don't read for 1 month, I just start feeling uneasy. I'm just like, these people are leaving me behind, like that kind of. So that's how that tech world is. It's just a crazy world. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what 3 skills have you interacted with most in like because of your career, or skills, tools, like someone that is looking to go into the data space? What tools or what skills would you say will set them apart, or do you say you have, or what tools or what skills have you been using that has helped you to set yourself apart from the crowd?
Yeah, it has really changed a lot over the years, but one thing that has definitely remained constant is SQL. Like you can't be in the data world or without at least having some form of experience with SQL. And I think it's the same thing with like software engineering. If you are building applications, you have to know a bit of like SQL as well. But in the data world, you just have to know SQL. So number one, that's definitely number one.
SQL
in the data world. I think second, I would say, depending on the area of like that you want to go into, because like data engineering, you need a different set of skills. If you are like a data analyst, you need a different set of skills. So maybe programming might not be so heavy as a data analyst or like a BI analyst. But I think that has really changed a lot now. So I would definitely say a bit of programming in Python specifically. I know Python or R, but I would say I've not really had reason to use R personally. So I do more of Python. Almost 100% of Python.
Okay. So the second one is Python, right?
So yeah, a bit of like programming, Python because we use Python for machine learning, for data engineering, for so many things within the data world. So a bit of, but no pressure, or doesn't mean that you can't survive. Yeah, at least at the beginning stage, if you're like an analyst, you might not really need to do it a bit. But when you start getting to like the core data scientists, machine learning, data engineer, roles, you definitely need in some Python.
Okay.
And then I think I want to leave the third one for a soft skill, which is just communication, and like being able to hold like conversation. A lot of this, you would know, like I've been in interviews where I was just able to hold great conversations, and the person is just like, just go through the process, as I don't really care how the rest of the process goes. I like you already. Like I'm going to give you this job. So being able to communicate what you do, your skill, being able to sell yourself. I feel like it's also a big part of engineering.
And then people miss that a lot. I'm happy that you mentioned it, because you know how you know how to do something, but you can't express yourself.
Exactly.
You can't. And the thing is, you have not open your head to say, oh, I know that you know how to do this thing. You have to sell yourself. You need to be able to speak about your experience. So that's a very good one.
Yeah, and it's not something that is easy for, especially people with like core engineering background. Even me, I was scared of talking before. I think I started like really communicating well when I joined the company in 2018. So this is me that I've been doing it since like 2011-ish. So I really started like getting confident with communication around 2018. So
it's something that you build, like
you
just
build
keep
it,
working on yourself.
just keep working on it. It's important. Just be aware that it's a bit of a weakness for me, and every opportunity that I get to do presentation, I will not run away from it. Even though my initial response is I don't want to do, because I know that it's a weakness and I want to try and improve it. I will try to volunteer to do it. After I'm done, I'll go back to say to my manager or somebody close to me and say, what did I do? Did I communicate well and stuff like that? So I feel like it's a very big skill in the tech world, and people use it to grow. Well, that's the beauty. Like the difference between you and somebody that went to the next level, sometimes it's just because the person can hold conversations, the person can communicate properly. They might not even be as good as you on the tech side of things, but they can drive conversations.
Very important. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you determine the area of tech to go into? You know how now everybody wants to get into tech. Tech is the new oil. So people are confused. Like technology is a big industry, you know. So like, how did you determine for you? Was it something that just came easy, or you know, how did you determine the area of tech to go into?
Yeah, so like I initially mentioned, it was sort of like my mentor that introduced me to this whole data thing. And honestly, if I'm just being honest, and what just kept me going, even though I wasn't understanding jack of what he was sending, most of the things he was sending to me was that I'm a money will get this thing for future.
Your motivation.
Or you will control all the market, so you'll be set for life. So me, I'm like, if money is your motivation too, there's nothing wrong in it.
Yeah.
So that money was the one pushing me to just keep going, keep reading. When I entered the banking sector and they were going to give me a chance, day and night I kept on reading. So yeah, for me it was sort of like I was introduced to it, but as I progressed, I've branched off into different other things, just from like doing my own research. Because I'm very big on money. I'm sorry for those that are big on passion. I've got passion for what I do as well. But I won't lie to you, money is also big because I like soft life.
Yeah.
At least my wife and my friends will say that I like the softest of life.
But everybody does, you know.
Yeah, and the truth is everybody needs
Some people
money.
say it's a lie. Money is not. It's a
Yeah.
lie. It's money that is pushing you to walk that walk. If there's no money, will you leave your house 8 a.m.?
Yeah, so I love comfort. I love to just be comfortable in whatever I do things when I want to do it, be able to afford things. So I always look for like the next skill in demand. That's something that I always do regularly, and try to plug myself into it. So yeah, if I see that okay, this DevOps is growing or software engineering is growing, I start to get curious about what they are doing in those worlds, and I just continue to. So that's how I've eventually like added so many of these skills to myself. Even though I'm like a BI guy, I started as maybe like a bit of a BI guy. And there's money in this software engineering. I started to build applications. DevOps is getting big. Like, what is this DevOps? What is all this CI/CD pipeline? I started to learn about it, and that's how I ended up as an engineer today.
So one thing that I noticed from your journey is the fact that you can fit into different job roles or different within the engineering, of course, and then software engineering space. So I think one thing that people need to take note of is the fact that you want to be able to wear many hats. You want to be marketable, so you cannot be
marketable. That's the word.
You cannot be comfortable in just one position, because you know, like he mentioned earlier, like the technology industry is something that is fast paced. Like if you don't keep moving, you will be left behind. You know, before you know, now AI one thing will carry your job. So you need to keep improving yourself. So no matter the part of technology that you find yourself, just make sure that you are on your toes, you're reading and you're trying to improve yourself so you can remain marketable and you can head for the top.
Yeah, just to add one more thing, and there are things that I read just from like self-development that was the reason why I landed a job 2 years later. So that's how the tech world all works. It's not just like my job. You have to be aware of what is happening in that world. So even though you are a BI analyst, what is happening in the data engineering world, what's happening in the machine learning world, what's happening in the AI world. It might be that thing that you got exposed to today that 2-3 years time will land you that big senior engineering world.
That brings me to my next question, just what you've said. You know, like you've always been a data guy. You are like even mentor people on like how to start data analytics career and all of that. But you mentioned that you presently work as a senior software engineer. You know, so how did that happen?
Yeah, so like I said, I just always update my skill. At some points in my life, I think it was 2020, because the data engineering, you know, I told you that I initially wanted to get back into data engineering at some point, and then I eventually got back into it. What I then realized was that data engineering and software engineering are like, they're very close to each other. Because software engineers, a lot of that, those guys that are building the application, making the available application like very resilient and stuff like that, they are the ones sort of like generating the data a lot of the time, and then we are like taking the data that they are generating. So we always like work hand in hand. So I just became curious that I want to even know more about what is happening within that world. How do they build a lot of these web applications, mobile applications, and things like that. And then I remember during the pandemic, I just registered for a programming, software engineering, web development, full stack web development bootcamp. Honestly, it started as just boredom. I was just like, this lockdown. And because I'm just always like curious, I love to learn.
Dayo loves to read.
I love to read. I just Googled software full stack web development bootcamps in Lagos. And then I just saw all the company. I checked the phone number. Hello, and I read so about your full stack development online, blah blah blah. And it was like, yeah, we're actually starting a weekend class the next Saturday. It is so amount. I was like, oh, sign me up. Send me your bank account number, blah, 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 and I just transferred the money. So it was a decision that I made instantly. So it was like the same day. I started to Google it. I called the first person. He said they're starting the class the next week. And I just sent him the money randomly like that, and I just committed to it. I didn't want to overthink it. I just committed to it. So I spent the next 5 months going for that program, and yeah, it's one of the most interesting trainings I've ever been part of, and that's how I started like doing core or software engineering. I built some. Remember, we built something, a product for ourselves, but I wasn't really using it like hands-on.
But this was 2020.
Yeah, and that's why I also mentioned that sometimes you do things that comes in handy in the future. So my current role, the reason why they were able to grant me a senior software engineer for role is because of that training that I went for. So I just kept on building things, working on my own personal projects, and then when this opportunity came, they needed somebody with software engineering, with exposure to like a lot of engineering practices, and that was how I was able to get the job. I remember I even applied for, I think it was like a backend engineer role that I actually applied for. By the time I went through the process, they offered me a senior software engineer for.
So just knowing your worth actually and just doing your work. I feel like in this tech industry, you just have to keep doing the work. You can't.
You just have to keep doing the work, or reading. Like, just don't say. And one thing I try to tell people is, don't say I'm reading but I'm not getting reward immediately. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. In fact, a lot of times, if you really look at it, a lot of times it doesn't. There are some people that are lucky that to just use it and they get it immediately. But a whole lot of times it doesn't happen that way. A skill that I acquired years ago didn't come in.
So you have to trust the process
until after over 2 years after. So just trust the process. Continue to develop yourself.
What advice do you have for people that are looking to go into tech? But like people that are looking to go into the data engineering space. So there's someone that's watching this video now is like, oh, I want to be a data engineer or data science specialist, whatever. I don't know how these titles work, but like what advice do you have for these people?
So I think first be aware that it's a very tough space to get into. So you have to be resilient. I really like that word so much. So resilient in terms of just always reading, developing yourself every day. Resilient in the terms of applying yourself, like reaching out to recruiters, sending your CV to people. You will get so many rejections. It might even take you 2 years to break into that space that you actually really want. So while you are doing your normal job or whatever it is you're already doing, and just be aware that it might not happen instantly. So just be resilient in terms of just developing yourself every day and then applying yourself every day until you get what you want. And I think that's the main thing. And then build a passion, because it's a very challenging space. it's important to have the passion on
Enjoy what you do.
yeah, enjoy what you eat. Trust me, it's a very challenging place. You will just have bad days and you just be like, who even sent me a message? Like, why don't I just go and be one manager somewhere and just be making my money and just be having presentations? Who sent me to come to this technical coding and all this crazy engineering in life? The passion is what will keep you going. Because when you have passion for something, the problems excite you. You're like, this is not good. How can I fix it? How can I fix it? You're looking to get exposed to the next problem because problems take you to the next level in engineering, and it's usually as if like you are as skilled as the amount of problems you have encountered, sort of in this tech world, or even those that are not like actively coding, maybe like product managers and stuff like that. It's also very challenging because if you even look at like product manager job description now, you will be aware that you will see SQL. You even see some people say you should know DevOps, you should know Python, software engineering, you should know. So is that tech world is just a challenging.
I feel like right now they want everybody that's in tech to know everything. So you should be wearing 100 hats. Even if your title says data engineer, you should know everything that even your role does not require you to know.
Which is the next point, curiosity. You must remain curious in the tech world. What are the technologies that are coming out? Look at ChatGPT now that people is trending now. It is your responsibility, blockchain, to say this thing that is just happening in tech now. Do a bit of reading about it, get exposed to it. What does it mean? You don't have to start coding in AI or start coding blockchain and stuff like that. But be aware of what is happening, because sometimes you're able to hold conversations about this thing, and that's what just impresses people and just like, this guy is really vast, he's really exposed to different things. And
okay, interesting. Thanks for that advice. So where do you see your career in the next couple of years? Like from here on, is upward, you know, or like how do you see, like, because for your career you've held so many roles, you've been coming from data engineer, BI analyst, so where do you see your career in the next couple of years?
The truth is that this question personally it puts me under so much pressure. And sometimes I don't like it because I'm not one to overplan things. I just like to enjoy the flow. But like you said, the main thing is to just keep going up, become better every day, and stuff like that. I won't say that this is what I think I must.
And because you're not really big on title.
Yeah, personally, I'm not really so big on title. What's important for me to just enjoy what I do. Mentoring people, coaching people is something that I really like. So I'll spend more time and more roles. So I'll try to expose myself more to more roles that allows me to like mentor people. A lot of
so
leadership.
Daya has like online courses. Daya has done physical trainings, online trainings for people that are looking to go into the data analytics space. So most of his videos are going to be dropping on this channel. So make sure to check that out if you're someone that is going to looking for an opportunity to learn more about this data world.
Yeah, but career wise as well, it's the same thing for me. Like I just taking up more roles that allows me to like mentor people, coach people, or coach people more, and then
just be happy.
And you know that with engineering, we usually have like sort of like two routes. So sort of like individual contributor, where we just continue to go in the engineering world, or the managerial route, where we start to get into like managerial, VP and stuff like that. So for me, I've not really decided which path I want to go, honestly. But I know I want a bit of like that managerial coaching people, but I also still love the engineering part of it. I don't think anytime soon I want to just be doing just that managerial work. I still want to.
You'd like to get your
I love to I'm someone that loves to get my hands dirty. I feel like even when I start my own company full time, like I feel like I'll be one of those CEOs that will just pick my laptop and go and sit down with the engineers. And just be coding and be programming and stuff like that. So yeah, for now, that's where I am. That's the space I am now. Honestly, I still love engineering. I still love building things, but I want to do it with more of coaching and mentoring people.
This has been an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you for sitting on my couch. Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed it
for being here. I know that people that have watched this video, they've learned a lot. So any final words for people that are watching?
Yeah, I think just it's possible. I did it. I left uni almost like feeling like I don't know anything. So I got into it and I think I'm thriving in it. So if I'm doing it, then you can do it too. If you want it so bad, you can definitely go for it.
Thank you so much, Dayo. So for me, like the things I picked out from our conversation, first, mentorship is very important.
Yeah, mentorship. Get yourself a mentor. Yeah.
Rightly, and then resilience. You need to know that this is not that easy. Even if they say everybody's entering tech, we know.
Trust me. Yeah. It might take somebody 1 year, 8 months to 1 year, but it might actually take you 3 years. And this is not. It happens. It might take you consistent effort for 2 to 3 years before it happens for you. So don't compare yourself to anyone.
Everybody's journey is different.
Everybody's journey is different. Just build that resilience. If you want it so bad,
you can do it.
Then you should definitely build that resilience and know that you will eventually get it.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, mentorship, resilience. Just keep going. Trust your journey. Don't compare yourself. That one thing that kills people is comparison. Oh, Mr. A started 2 months ago. He already has a job. Mr. B does not have. Don't compare. Everybody's journey is different. You are not Mr. A. God's plan for you is unique. So just make sure that you keep at it, and God, will bless your hard work. So guys, thank you so much for watching this particular episode of Conversations with Eki. I'm going to be having more conversations like this because I know that you're going to learn a lot, but then Daya is going to be dropping some videos in my channel, so if you're looking to start a data analytics career, make sure to watch those videos. Python courses are going to be coming up on this channel as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Daya, for being here. High five.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm getting used to this camera life.
Yes, you have to get used to it. So thank you for watching, guys. Please do not forget, share this video. Information is power. Don't hide that information. Share this video with your friends, your loved ones, your enemies as well. Please leave comment down below. Be generous with your likes, thumbs up, please. And then please finally just subscribe. Hey Joe, please just subscribe to my channel. So thank you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Yay, we did it!